This historic city in Northern California is at the heart of wine industry. With vineyards, gardens and farms scaling the breadth of this valley, this region is one of the most beautiful I've seen. Today, we visit Sonoma County. Today we meet a local entrepreneur bringing German cuisine to the heart of Sonoma.
We can't chat without some German beer.
We're having beer right off the bat.
I mean, why not?
This is great.
This is how we start.
Then we meet a local butcher supplying the most quality meat in the region.
We're one of the few butcher shops in America that makes all of our own products.
And later we head to a vineyard to try some wine.
This is going to be fun. This is the best day ever.
And I learn something new when I do an olive tasting. For the first time.
If you're going to do farming, olives are great because all you do is shake them off the tree. There's no picking. Is that true?
That's so not true.
Oh, really?
And finally, we meet a chef who shows us how to cook a duck risotto. First, it's time to take on some German fare.
Gary.
Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you as well. Welcome.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I feel like I'm in a modern German restaurant.
That's the deal.
I love that.
Deal. In the heart of Guerneville.
We are right on the Russian River here, and it is absolutely the most quaintest little town.
To me, it's the best of this whole area. We're 20 minutes from the coast. We've got the redwoods in the backyard. I mean, it couldn't be more idyllic.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, can we sit down and have a chat?
Please.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
This modern take on German cuisine is something I cannot wait to try.
Alrighty, so this is the new place, right?
This is it. Brot.
What is brot?
Brot literally translates to bread in Germany, but it also means livelihood. Okay. So this is my third restaurant.
You gotta earn the bread.
Yeah, you gotta earn the bread.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a really tough business, and everybody who works here, this is not just a day job, this is what they do, this is their livelihood. So I really, like, all of the names of my businesses have deep meaning.
Okay.
And this one...
You're a deep girl.
I am. I try. We can't chat without some German beer.
We're having beer right off the bat.
I mean, why not?
This is great.
This is how we start.
This is great, look at that.
Just to talk a tiny bit about the beer before you try it.
Yeah.
Both of these are actually monastic beers, so they were made by the monks.
Okay.
This is arguably the first ever made in 1050. So hence
The first beer ever.
Yeah, the first monastic beer. So monks really started the whole culture of making beer.
Because they got so lonely they needed to get drunk.
You gotta do something. Yeah, pass the time. Prost.
Prost?
Prost.
Which means cheers?
Cheers.
Okay, great. Yeah, Prost. Wow, that's a really florally beer.
Yeah.
That to me tastes like a craft beer.
Yeah.
That people are making today.
And that's what I loved about doing this concept. While there's so many great local things, we really wanted to honor the German tradition. So we've got a lot of just almost an exclusively German beer program on tap.
I'm so glad you've broken that down for me, because I mean, we couldn't be any further away from Germany.
Sure.
Like, I mean, it's so different here. We're in America, but sometimes I feel like we're in Europe a little bit because it's got that beautiful look about it. The area is stunning.
Yeah, it's like the rolling hills, it's, you know, the forestry, like all of it. And we've got the redwood forest right down the street, which is beautiful, Armstrong Woods. And so, to me, I just wanted to create a sense of place with this place. And, you know, you can get all kinds of beautiful California cuisine, and certainly I'm putting a West Sonoma County twist on what we do here, but I want it to feel authentically German.
Well, I love it. So,
Should we have some food?
You're going to feed me as well?
Of
So I've got
course.
beer and food?
Yeah.
Put me down for a yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thank you so much. Look at that.
So I wanted to start us off with a brotzeit platter, which basically means breadboard.
Okay.
And this is sort of an afternoon savory snack that you would have in any Bavarian bar.
Love it, yeah.
Why I wanted to feature this too is we're actually using all of Pete's meat on here.
Okay,
So, this is Journeyman.
Journeyman Grown.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
great.
some of their sausage cold. We've got one of their cocoa sausages. Their family recipe, which is called Il
Look at all
Pio.
the food you're giving us.
I mean, Germans like to eat, so
Yeah,
we're
my
just going to go
gosh,
for it.
This is great.
This is like actually somewhat of a German breakfast in many regards.
Okay, this is great. So let's try some of this. So this one here is...
This is Il Pio, which
Okay.
is Journeyman's like family recipe.
Okay.
And we also use a bratwurst that has essentially, for the fresh sausage, the same spice ingredients. So some cloves, some nutmeg.
Right.
Yeah, really beautiful flavors.
Awesome. What else have we got on here?
We've got some abatsta, which is a Bavarian cheese spread.
Right.
It's a mix of several different cheeses, some smoked paprika, onion, butter,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a really rich...
and often served with, radishes and onions. Spread it on some bread or some crackers. Dip your pretzel right into it.
And here's a pretzel. So are pretzels a German...
Pretzel is like German breakfast. It would be like pretzel with Weisswurst, which is the white sausage.
Wow. And over here we have, of course,
The bratwurst,
the bratwurst.
traditional bratwurst. We actually do two different versions. We do the Avi brat, and then we do a traditional German bratwurst, which has a little bit more majoram spice in it.
This is amazing, and we've got a lot of food to eat.
We do.
Well, let's finish up. I've got a lot to do. I've got
Yeah, you got a busy day.
It sounds like a lot of wine to drink, a lot of beer to drink, a lot of food to eat. So this
Yeah.
is going to be a great day.
Well, you're starting off right.
Let's do it.
Well, that was just a small taste of what Sonoma has to offer. The locals here in Sonoma are the heartbeat of this small town. We meet Pete from Journeyman Meat.
What's going on here? This is our small retail shop, and this is basically our meat butcher shop and meat tasting room. So we're one of the few butcher shops in America that makes all of our own products. Salami, candy cane, snack sticks for the holidays. We make all of our own hams, our bacon. So this is just where we taste, we sell it. We also have a very small, limited cook menu, a couple of pizzas, the best burger you will ever have, and the best BLT you will ever have is on Wednesday. So it's just a small little shop.
Pete has embraced his long-standing family tradition, securing the best ingredients from local farms to create the most memorable tasting experience right here in the wine country.
We process up in 10 minutes north up in Cloverdale, and we work with family farms, Northern California, Washington State, and the western prairies of Iowa. So it is the western U.S. It's a mixture of states, and it's all heritage bred pork. We like using Duroc, which is the best, but it's all pasture-raised, family farms. The salumi boards are wonderful. We sell a lot of those for customers to have here or to take away. The case is pretty much prime and above. So we have local beef, which is a state beef, meaning those are animals that we raise ourselves in Sonoma County. They spend their whole life in Sonoma County. So they'll be in the case as a state beef. In fact, we have some in there right now. So those are always a great option out of the case. But you can choose, a customer can choose any cut of meat out of the case, and we'll cook it up for you, and you can have it here. So that makes it rare. And most of the meat that you're going to have in a restaurant, since it's all price-based, is going to be selector choice. Here, you can choose what you want. I think the philosophy here is, as we get older, we're all eating probably a little less meat. So what meat we do want to eat, we want to be the absolute best. And that's really the philosophy.
Meat is not the only item on the menu. They also have a choice selection of wine.
Yeah, these are all wines that I make with my kids and my lovely wife. And they're all small lot. I used to run a very large winery. And at this point in life, it's all about making a small amount of great wine. So these wines are all unfined, unfiltered. They're vineyards that I've worked with for 10, 20 years, and San Lorenzo is my own vineyard. So they're very special wines, juicy, rich, full. Oh, you made my day. This is the best BLT, and this is heritage pork. This is bacon. We do this with barrel wood, so we call this our barrel bacon. And the barrel bacon is tumbled. It rests for 24 hours, and then it's tumbled and does a second 24 hours. It's about a 5-hour smoke cycle but we're using Francois Frere French oak barrels. So the same wood that we use on our Pinot is the same wood that we use for the bacon. And then the burger is amazing. The burger is prime ground chuck with about 15% of the bacon ends. So when you're slicing bacon, you're left with the uneven ends of the belly. And so you have to use that. And so one of the best ways for us to use it is in the burger.
Now for something new, an olive tasting session.
Hey, Mary Louise.
Hey.
Great to see you.
Nice to see you. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Oh, my pleasure.
I got to tell you, I could be in worse places in the world.
You could.
This
Yes.
is one of the most prettiest places on the planet.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
We're very blessed to be here. We really love Sonoma County.
I mean, is this Sonoma proper or
It's Sonoma County.
Okay.
So we are actually in the city, the large city of Guerneville, which is
Okay.
actually quite small, quite cute little community.
Now, you guys do olive oil and you do wine.
We do.
Can you call your wine Sonoma wine, or is that because there's a whole legal thing around that,
Yeah,
isn't
they do. They have appellation requirements, has to do with where it's grown, that sort of thing. We are called, our appellation is Dry Creek Valley.
it? Okay.
So it's a lovely valley that you can see it's about 10 miles long, about a mile wide, and we are up on the hill. So that's why we have such beautiful vistas of the valley.
That's amazing. We're going to be drinking wine. We're
Nice.
going to be having some olive oil.
Of course.
Which is a whole new thing, and this is a whole new industry out here, isn't it?
It's, well, you know, of course, olive oil's been around since biblical times, right? So it is still up and coming for California.
Okay.
But over the last 10 years, I think you've really seen a resurgence in the business and a lot of growth.
So how many trees do you have here?
We have probably about 8,000 trees.
So I knew it was a lot when you said probably about, because there's a lot of trees.
Yeah, exactly. I always go between acres and trees.
Oh, of course,
But we
yeah.
do have, it's probably about 6-7 acres worth, and it's about
That's
8,000
great.
trees. Yeah.
The best thing about olives is if you're going to do some farming, someone did say to me, if you're going to do farming, olives are great because all you do is shake them off the tree. There's no picking. Is that true?
That's so not true.
Oh, really?
Ask our crews. Actually, as a matter of fact, I spent Saturday morning in the pouring rain picking.
no.
Yes, when they're extremely ripe, yes, you can whack the branches and they will fall off, but it's a pretty laborious.
Okay, great. Okay, scrap that then.
Clearly farming isn't my forte, but I'm all about the tasting.
So we're going to have you taste. We're going to have you start with our mildest oil.
Okay, great.
Because I want you to taste it like a purist.
Okay, so
I
this
don't
is-
want you to. We can use bread, and that's always a great option.
I'm going to drink this like a
Yes, you
drinking
are.
wine.
Absolutely.
Really?
You are. So
Is this healthy?
it's very healthy for you. As a matter of
do you know
fact,
what?
I know a lot of
smell
people.
I can smell the fruit. It's very fruity.
That is, so oil is judged on 3 things. It's
Yep.
judged on its fruitiness,
Yep.
it's judged on its bitterness, which you'll taste on the sides of your tongue,
Yep.
and it's judged on its pungency, which is a natural irritation in the back of your throat.
Okay.
Now this one's pretty low on its pungency and its bitterness, but so the first thing you're gonna do, put this in your hand
Sure thing.
and let your hand warm it up a little bit.
Oh, okay, you want it warm.
You want it warm only because this is how someone would judge oil. They would go through it and they would take a deep smell.
Yeah, I like that.
By warming it up, it releases some more of the aromatics, and then what do you smell?
Well, I'm not going to say apple because I want to say apple because I don't. I mean, obviously
Okay.
it smells like olive, but it's a real appley kind of like fruity kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And you can write all sorts of descriptors down. It's like when you're tasting wine.
You can make stuff up.
You can make stuff up. Oh, you can have all sorts of. I have a sense of nettle and you know, wet grass and on a Thursday, you know, that sort of thing. I smell a lot of like artichoke and green banana.
Okay, really? Oh, green banana.
And sometimes I'll suggest that, and then people will go.
Yes, yeah, green banana. I'm getting.
Then the way you taste
Yeah.
it is you sip it. So you're going to take a little in your mouth,
Yep.
and then you're going to kind of give it a little bit of air.
Yep.
You're going to suck it back.
Like wine. Oh yeah, that's a really nice.
that a nice
wow. I can see what you mean by the back of your throat now. Just hits it there. I'm not getting any bitterness whatsoever.
This is a very mild, this is one of our more popular ones.
Yeah.
Rich, creamy, buttery.
Okay, this has been amazing, and thank you so much for making me a connoisseur of olive oil. Now I think I'm in. I think you've.
Great.
I think I'm signing up. This is great, and I'm going to be much more careful about what olive oil I buy in the future. So I'm going to get your husband downstairs, right? He's the wine guy.
He is.
So I'm going to do this all again, but with some wine this time.
Exactly.
This is going to be fun. This is the
Great.
best day ever.
Enjoy.
Well, that was fun, but I feel a lot more at home tasting wine.
Must be Tim.
Yes.
Good to see you, sir.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm good, and I've just been tasting the best olive oil.
Yeah,
Extra
with
virgin.
Mary Louise?
She's been fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm a
good.
fan of that stuff.
You know, I call her the olive queen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I've got to tell you, don't tell Mary Louise this, but wine's actually my favorite, not olive oil.
Really?
I love the olive oil.
Yeah.
But this is my thing. I mean, I drink wine.
We can support you in that.
Okay. So we're going to try some wine. So this is straight out of the barrel, right? So this is not quite ready, right?
It's not quite ready. We have both wines in bottle and wines out of the barrel, and you know, we love Rhone varietals here, so we took a sample of Syrah from the estate right out of the barrel. So this is out of the barrel. It's not quite ready. It'll probably be released.
You can tell it smells a little different.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is that the aromas are just as important as the palate, right? So one of the things you want to do first is, when you see people doing this, you know, what are they doing? Well, it's really about letting those aromatics come off. So when you taste, you know, you want to basically let that wine sit in your mouth, and you want to aerate it if you can. Yeah. This wine, you can tell, is very, very young because it's not ready yet, right?
You can kind of, yes, you can taste that.
You can taste, it's a puckering.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to soften tremendously over time as it sits in barrel.
Even though you're in the Sonoma district, you can't call it a Sonoma wine because you're not in actual Sonoma, is that right?
No, you can actually.
Okay, great.
It's Sonoma County, you can call it. Sonoma Coast, you can call it.
Okay.
We call our wines Dry Creek Valley.
Okay, which is a really great. There's so many vineyards along here.
So Dry Creek Valley, Sonoma County.
Okay, great.
Right? So there's a town of Sonoma, and then there's the county of Sonoma.
Okay.
We're on the northern end of Sonoma County, and Sonoma, the town, is more on the southern end of the county.
Great.
But Sonoma County is my favorite county. It's very beautiful.
You live here.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, what's our next one?
So we're going to try a little bit of another red called Mourvèdre. So remember I said Grenache, Syrah, Mourvèdre. Those are three big red. This is also from the barrel. Now Mourvèdre is a very different wine. And normally it's used for
a little
blending
darker.
only.
Yeah.
Yes, a little darker. It's got a very different complexion than a Syrah.
So as you're tasting this, we've just taken it from the barrel. Are you doing anything to the barrel now to think, okay, I'm not happy with that, or I am happy with that?
Great question. The answer is no, but what we do is we monitor the barrels. So my winemaker takes samples from all the barrels very regularly, and then we have our own chemistry lab here in the cellar.
Okay.
And it's a little robotic arm that does 96 samples at a time, and so, you know, the next morning you know if there's anything going on in those barrels.
See, they're like babies. You're really caring for them, aren't you?
Well, yeah, because each barrel is its own kind of living thing, right? The wine is continuing to develop, and you might have one barrel go bad, and if that barrel goes bad, sometimes you can do things to fix it, and when you can't fix it, it goes into vinegar.
This is awesome. We have got to finish off these glasses. You've been amazing, and thank you so much for showing me around. I learned so much today.
Very welcome.
You're the best.
Drink up.
Thanks. Cheers.
Cheers.
Now we meet Tom, who shows us the secret to a duck risotto.
Hey, Tom.
How you doing, Gary?
Good, great to see you. What a wonderful property here. The actual property here is on a whole vineyard, right?
Yeah.
But you've also got heaps of things here as well.
Oh yeah, so it's about a 100-acre property. It's about 85 or so acres of vineyards.
This is a food and wine lovers.
Paradise, yeah.
Yeah, I was saying like a Disneyland, but yeah, paradise, exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. What I'm getting from this place is it's kind of like a little bit of Europe, if you like, in the middle of like America.
Exactly.
You've got so much great food. You've got vineyards, which is like France.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. So you're gonna cook up something for us today, and most of the produce is from local, right?
Almost everything is local, Sonoma County, and the rice that's something to make a risotto, the Carnaroli rice that the variety we get it's grown in California.
Well, let's do it, shall we? Risotto it is.
Risotto with your duck confit. So I'm going to start with some butter and the shallots.
Okay. So just going to brown them up and give it.
Yeah. Get a little caramelize them lightly just to get some flavors, make them translucent, bring the flavors out.
So what happens if you kind of cook your mushrooms too much?
Well, they get too chewy if you put them way too much. I mean, they don't have that nice, bite to them if you give them too much. So then I have a duck jelly here we cook do doing the duck bones. You see it's jellied down.
Oh, yeah.
And then you reduce it way down so it has a little bit more viscosity,
Yep.
a little thickness to it. And we make a little mushroom stock here and add that to it.
Okay, so that's the broth from.
We make some dried mushroom, porcini.
Oh, right.
Here I've already partially cooked the risotto.
Okay, great.
In the
That makes
restaurant, to
sense.
make it go quick, you can't take 20, 30 minutes to make a risotto, so we par cook it about 3/4 away, and then finish it off to order. And these are the different, most of these mushrooms are seasoned with salt and pepper, our own olive oil from our estate.
Okay.
And then we roast them for a while to cook them down a little bit.
And the olive oil, it doesn't have any flavor in it, does it? It's just.
Well, it has light flavors. We have a really nice nutty olive oil. So we do enough for the kitchen, and we sell some of it on retail. We make about 70, 80 gallons a year.
And that comes from the property.
Yeah, we have almost 300 trees.
I love that.
So we used to sell it all, and a couple of years ago I said I'd rather buy it and use it in the kitchen than to buy somebody else in California or Italy or wherever and have to change it around.
I mean, so you're adding in the duck now.
Yeah, duck confit.
Tom, that just smells so good from here, and there is so much going on here with the broth and the jelly.
Yeah, and I don't really need any salt either because the duck is very cured in salt for 2 days.
Yep.
And then the broth is salty from the duck, so it's all really all ready to go. Then we have the cheese.
And do you have a little herb garden here, or what are you doing?
Oh yeah, we've got herbs. We have all the year. We have thyme, rosemary, parsley.
That's great. Look at that.
So, and then we finish it off with this wagon wheel cheese. There's a type of like a fontina. Usually do like Parmesan, but this is such a nice nutty flavor.
And that was really quick too because everything's already prepared. It's a very
we got a 115 seat restaurant plus 115 seats in the bar. So we have 230 seat restaurant.
So I mean, how many risottos would you do per night?
Oh, night we might sell from 10 to 40 orders.
Wow. Getting the consistency of the water out is the trick right here, right?
Yeah,
so
you have to make sure it's
so how do you
creamy
do
enough.
that?
We'll just reduce it enough and make sure the rice doesn't get overcooked. So you want to reduce enough that it stays creamy.
Yep.
And enough cheese. We won't want it kind of sticks together. You want to be able to put it out and it spreads apart.
Great. Have a look at that. That is one good risotto, and fresh and all made from local produce just around the corner. Alrighty, let's give it a try, shall we?
Yeah.
How does it taste? Get a little bit of a duck in there, a bit of the risotto. Just smells so good.
The flavors of the mushrooms come
Oh
out.
wow. Just so wonderful, such a complex taste, so much going on.
It's great for wintertime.
And the salt, it's obviously you don't need to add any salt to this.
So the confit is there, and they already do a little salt and pepper on the mushrooms, so it's already in there.
Tom, you've been amazing. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I'm going to go away and eat this, and
Okay, you do that.
Thanks so much.
Have fun.
Thank you so much for joining us on the tour today. Join us next time as we continue our tasting journey throughout America.